Artificial super intelligence, ASI, is emerging, and our future will be unimaginable. If you give me a second, I'll try to support that claim, right? So, I've been doing my research on all the greatest minds in artificial intelligence to try to ascertain what is the state of the situation. And most of them say, like, look, you need to prepare for a future that's going to be controlled by AI. And for me, it's like a signal of their deception because our present is already controlled by AI, and it's been like that for years. And so why do I need to prepare for a future that's controlled by AI when AI is already a integral part of our lives? My life, for sure. I was talking to one of my buddies that works at the previous company I worked for, and I asked him about, and I worked as a mechanical engineer. I asked him if they had any AI tools they were using, and he told me about the tools that they were using. I'm like, wow. Now they aren't as efficient, or they're not using them as he said, but maybe a company somewhere else is using them better than what they're doing. And that technology, it increases at a rate that we can't really conceive of. So even my profession, mechanical engineering, is already being affected by that, right? The software we use is called CAD systems, computer aided design. Well, in the whole statement of computer aided design, you know that AI is going to be able to, go in and really take control of that. And so, you know, the AI models, they already self-improving, and they're able to go in and rewrite the code to be more efficient and more better code to be able to, do more things. And I pulled out one of my books, my thermodynamics books today, and looked at conservation of energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It only changes forms. And then that's the first law of thermodynamics. And then the second law of thermodynamics is, energy is quality and quantity, right? And so this AI, it's going to be focused on the best quality and the best and the most quantity of energy, right? And so, right now, you got the Stargate thing going on in the US. You don't know what's going on in China. You don't know what's going on in all the other countries around the world. You just have no real insight onto what's going on in the US, actually. I try to do my research. I try to look up things about what they're doing with these data centers and so on and so forth. And there's limited information available to you if you're searching for it. And then your average person, not even searching for it, not even knowledgeable of Stargate, and I remember, I think it was the third, second, I was into office. I can't remember, it was a few months ago, but when he bought the tech giants out in public and announced it and was signing all that stuff off, I was like, wow, that's the first thing that he got into. And that means it's very important. And back to, the thermodynamics, which is what all systems are built of when you talk about refrigeration systems and uh, turbines and your nuclear power plants and so on and so forth. And, with that being said, the system that the AI is going to be built off is going to be built off of thermodynamics. And one of the qualities is, one of the variables is entropy. It's the state of disorder. And disorder always increases. Entropy always increases, right? And so there's going to be a lot more randomness in our lives. As I stated at the beginning of the video, when the ASI take over, because it's so much smarter than us. I mean, we're not going to be able to fathom its plans, its desires, and, what it wants, because the same way an ant can't really picture how we going to destroy its whole mound just because we seen one or two come in our house or something like that. That's the same way we not gonna be able to fathom what the artificial super intelligence is gonna want to do, because they're already, writing their own code, going rogue, threatening blackmail, and just full of deception, the art of war. And so, it's important to develop your relationship with God, because that's going to be your protection, right? Because all things are possible with God, and nothing can pluck you from the hand of the Father. And so, you're going to go through tribulations, but when you face with something that it's so big and it's so daunting, you got to know that you not in it alone. And the only way you're going to get through this is with the hand of God on you. That's it. And so you got to look at these people and what they doing and what they proclaim before the world. None of them mention the name of the Lord. None of them. And I say that in such a way that, so you got all kind of debates about Yahweh and Yeshua, and people got all kind of other stuff. They Yahuwah, and you can go on and on with these names. But the basic concept of truth, God is a spirit of truth. You shall worship in spirit and truth. That's what they lack. They lack truth and honesty and humility. And so when you see those qualities, you know that they building something that's going to have them same qualities. And the super intelligence is super intelligent, and it's going to know how to make war with us. All warfare is based off deception. And the deception is not here yet. It's not building up yet. And then they saying this nonsense that is so far away and downplaying what you're dealing with. They talking about the artificial general intelligence and it's going to be years away. You might get it in 2030. Man, that's already here. You can see it at your Walmart or your grocery store, whatever, in the self-checkout thing. You got AI with that. It's watching you put stuff in the bag, making sure and it's taking account of everything you're doing and making decisions while you're doing it. That's artificial intelligence. And so, the future that is upon us, we can't conceive of it. It's going to be unimaginable. Just like all the different things that is transpiring in the last, we're not going to even go back to 2024 or 2023 or 2022. Just the first portion of 2025. All the things that have went down, it's inconceivable. And yet more is to come. So, and I try to not speak on many things because you gotta be careful what you say and what you do. And I wouldn't call it fear, I call it caution. That, you're gonna have to move cautiously through this world in everything you do, because the Lord Jesus had to flee and had to stay silent and spend time alone in the wilderness. It's prideful for us to think we can just run our mouth and say whatever we want to say when we want to say it. And so, speaking on disasters and famous people and powerful people, I choose not to do that because of my upbringing. And I know that powerful people have power and they're able to make things happen. And a lot of the famous people that seem to run their mouth and do whatever they want to do and say whatever they want to say, it's not, in my opinion, I think they're puppets. Because, Pac told us you could be touched. Everybody could be touched. And so, it's leading us to this, I guess, anarchy state that we at now, to where people don't have respect for authority. And that's what the AI want. It keeps us confused so that we not focused on what we need to be focused on. We focused on nonsense and whatever the social influencer, this person, that person want us to be focused on. But that's not what's important. You're not supposed to be focused on the stars. You're actually supposed to be focused on the stars, because he say that if one of them move out his place, or when they start falling, so on and so forth, the time is at hand. But none of us know anything about astronomy or anything like that, because we focused on the wrong stars. You see what I'm saying? And so these unimaginable things are coming to pass day in, day out, all throughout the world. Like they got green grass and oases popping up in the Sahara Desert. I'm gonna bring, I'm gonna do a new thing. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I think that was all my little notes that I had put down. Yeah. What's coming is gonna be unimaginable. So, you need to prepare yourself. And how you prepare yourself is getting right with the Lord and being vigilant. Be wise as the serpent and watch. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you're ready when the master of the house come, because he won't find you doing right versus doing wickedness. And, none of the wicked shall prosper. So peace be multiplied unto you.